All right, so this is again one of our ways of helping our members connect with other members by just sharing stories of restoration, stories of what had happened before Christ, what is happening because of Christ, and really what is expected to happen with Christ moving forward. So this is Cody Parker. A lot of you people know who he is. Some of you don't. You should meet him, say hi to him. But he's been one of our faithful members, he and his wife, Emily. And so invited Cody just to share his story, and which has really led into a passion and an opportunity here at the church. So I'm going to let Cody just share what he has.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Yeah, man, God is good. And just transparently right off the bat, I have to share, like, my heart's pumping, and it's pumping just because I think I'm very honored in the opportunity just to be used, and it's something I've always more or less dreamt of and felt led to, but due to many things, there was just obstacles in the way, choices that I had built from many different reasons, and so I also want to give my wife a platform as well, man. My wife is a very strong and courageous woman, and what I've put her through and where she's at now is only by God's grace. And I'm hoping that what we can do through this testimony and what I'm going to get into helps her heal and can help others heal just by our testimony. Amen. And so part of my testimony is goes in line with what I'm trying to introduce, which is the Sexual Integrity 101 course put on by Pure Desire that we're going to be entering into. And again, I have the honor to help co-lead with Eric, and I'm looking really forward to that. But what's brought me to that has been just a history of just bad decisions or realms of influence that I didn't deal with well, or I didn't seek counsel for well. I hurt my wife by bringing into my marriage a realm of unwanted sexual behavior that was never addressed well. And I remember before we got married, even going through marriage counseling, and I remember in the back of my mind holding this heavy weight of shame, and utilizing the many masks that I had developed over the years to put front and face to others, letting them think and believe that I had it put together. And I remember while we went through that course, just thinking about, or that meeting with this couple, I just remember thinking, like, I'm never going to tell my wife my baggage. I'm never going to have to, because I can control these unwanted desires, and I can control the influences of those past mistakes. And come to find out, man, I was powerless, and my powerlessness to address my issues with unwanted sexual behavior just overtook me in many ways. In 2017, I committed adultery, and I was caught. I didn't have the courage to come out and confess that and be bold. And I look back at myself and think of myself as a coward. And I've had to do a lot of work at coming to understand what the other factors were. But ultimately, I was found out, caught, and we went through a long process of trying to reconcile that. And through the grace of Restoration Road, who walked with me, and many members inside the church, I met with guys, and I met every morning, Friday morning, at the church with a number of guys to address the underlying reasons why I couldn't stop pursuing these unwanted behaviors. And something that never allowed me to fully come into the light or fully understand the underlying drives was, again, secrets and shame. And even throughout that year process, after being found out, I had things that I never fully disclosed. things that happened to me when I was a child, the things that happened between just the misguidance of my parents. And the devil really just used that as a foothold to keep me powerless. And so little things started sneaking back into my life, social medias, YouTube clips, just little things that the world presents constantly. And I was unable to be transparent and authentic in my recovery. And I ended up in 2018 committing adultery again and entering into a relationship that, man, hurt me deeply and hurt my wife even more. And so I was found out again, and it devastated not only my wife, but my family. And this situation, God put his foot down, I think. And I spoke with you, Sam, one night. I was in a hotel after I had to leave my house. And, you had confronted me with some questions that rocked my world. And when we get off the phone, I fell to the floor and I prayed. And the only thing that came out of my mouth was, in some explicit language, God, if you want me to change, you're gonna have to do it yourself. And he started laying some golden paths after that. But the point of it was, I could not come into the light by myself. And fortunately, I know that there are numerous other people, men, women, who struggle and either don't know the weight of the shame or believe that they can manage it. And for my story, that just wasn't the case at all. I've never been able to manage it, but I've been able to try and, hide it and manipulate it. And that has traumatized and devastated my wife to realms that I don't think words on a video could even help others understand. And so where I'm at now, so that just to go back a little bit, that led me to 3 months at a facility called Hope Quest, which is an inpatient treatment facility in Atlanta, Georgia. And this facility deals with unwanted sexual behaviors, amongst other types of addictions. And I can now look back. That was in November of 2000, I think 19, and that was for me probably the most blessed opportunity in my life. And outside of me being married and still being married, but this opportunity helped me see and eliminate distractions, really see like who I am, who I want to be, why I am, and have been who I am, and how to move forward. And so in coming back from that, I can honestly say today that it's been just over a year, and I've been sober from the pursuit of unwanted behavior, sober from pornography and engaging with other women. And I have been on a super fast track, super involved with the church, with men's groups, with Conquer Series groups, which is another group put on by Pure Desire, to help understand my history, my story, and begin narrating what it's been like for me and why my mind works in the process that it does. And so that's a little snippet into my life. And what I'm wanting to offer is the invitation to others, men, and hopefully women here soon, into a realm of curiosity into their own stories, an opportunity to begin narrating the whys and the where from your anger has come from, where your unwanted behavior has come from, the underlying reasons why we use these coping mechanisms opposed to being transparent and authentic and engaging in community and other relationships. This Sexual Integrity 101 course is a new course put on by Pure Desire after the Conquer series, and it really dives into the inner workings of the brain. It dives into curiosity as to where our sexuality comes from and how we've used it. And it just utilizes a lot of proven tools to help people understand that it's not just a heart problem, but it's more than that. There's more involved. And so this course is what I would consider or call, and they would as well, an introductory course into just understanding the realm of sexual addiction, love addiction, relationship addiction, things like that. And what I've gotten to experience in walking with other men over this last year and a half is being in community with other people willing to engage curiosity into really hard places, sexuality being one of the hardest places to really engage, has been the most healing aspect I could ever ask for. Being given space to just be authentic, myself without a mask, has been one of the most healing opportunities I've ever been given. And I just really want to invite others to ask themselves, hey, are there areas in my life that I haven't been able to confess? Is sexuality and sexual compulsivity something that I deal with, binge purge, or regularly? And is that something that I want to address and give to God? And if that is you, then let's be courageous and let's change the game by stepping out of what's comfortable to us and manageable within our lives and say, God, you know what? I'm going to trust that you are going to get me on the back end because that was one of my greatest fears. And so I hope that I just hope that others can take this testimony, because for me to even be here and just be authentic like this and open is a testament to where I've come from. And I'm hoping that it's not perceived as an ability to even manipulate, because quite honestly, when I was good at manipulating or thinking I was before, I couldn't have put it as well as this. And so one of my greatest fears these days is to put a mask back on. And that scares the hell out of me. So I don't want to do that. And I don't want to see other men or other women have to go through that, thinking that there's not others out there like them, or that there's not others out there willing to walk through really, really hard, shameful, and even embarrassing type stuff. So
so good.
That's it in a nutshell.
So good. And what's good is that I'm convinced that someone's depth, if you will, of belief in the gospel is evidenced by their depth of vulnerability and transparency, because they already know Jesus knows everything,
Right.
and then it's okay to confess your sins to one another and share your stories with one another, and just your willingness to share has an impact. And my hope is we'll encourage these other men and women, and remind them that, like, it is hard to live a lie. It is hard to live masked. It's hard to live with secrets. And there is true freedom living in the light, as difficult as it might be to go from the darkness into the light and how much it might hurt. Man, there's real goodness in that and freedom in that and lightness in that. And I can see that in you. I've seen you at different stages. I remember that phone call. I didn't necessarily expect to be having these kinds of conversations, and watching you really kind of climb into the pit with other guys. That's really what we're talking about. It's not even yelling at the guys to climb out of the pit, saying, I will get in the pit with you, just as Jesus did, and I will lift you out because I've been there. And so it's a beautiful and good thing. And so I thank you for sharing. And the specifics of it. It's on Wednesday nights are going to start. It's Sexual Integrity 101. I'll put a link on here to click on, and you got to register. And then there's a notebook. I mean, how many weeks is it? I don't recall.
Yeah, it's an 8-week course with a video every week, a book, a little workbook that we'll go through with just awesome questions. So yeah.
Okay, and I know some guys are maybe anxious to jump into something like this, or fearful, and so a couple things to think about. If you are somebody that has struggled with this and has experienced victory, then bring a friend with you. Then go with them. There are men in our church, as Cody talked about, who have walked through and are willing to walk through. I'm not in that place, but I'm going to participate in the class anyway, for a number of reasons. One is to eliminate fears that, like, oh, I can't do X, Y. Just go, man. Just go. I'll be there. Tell them you're going to go hang out with the pastor, and and
Yeah.
talk about sexual integrity and talk about your story, and I'll be sharing my own stories, and it will be good. You've got to, at some point, you can't let the enemy keep you in darkness. At some
Yeah.
point, you've got to take that step. And even though there's fear in that, you're not alone in that. And so
Yeah.
I
Amen.
encourage you to be a part of it. I encourage you to register. I encourage you to not be fearful of what it might be. If you are feeling the Spirit stir you,
Yeah.
that is the Spirit. The enemy doesn't want you to be there. The
No.
enemy would rather keep you in the darkness and say, no, you don't need that. You're going to be embarrassed by that. Like, that is the enemy. That is not the Lord. The
Yeah.
Lord wants you to walk in the light, and to expose whatever secrets you might be holding on to, and just really only be your true self. So looking forward to doing that. That is going to start, I think, is it the second week of January?
Yeah. I believe we had it at January 6th.
Okay, so
So
that's the
it's
first
actually
week
this
of
come.
January. So a
Yeah,
couple
this coming
weeks.
Wednesday.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Cody. And
Absolutely.
we're going to, if you have any questions, you can email sam@rdchurch.com, and I'll connect you with Cody. And if you'd like to connect with Cody, I'm sure he and there's several other guys.
Absolutely.
If you go, hey, I can't join a class, but I want to talk with somebody about stuff, we will connect you with that. We would love to continue to be a church where we walk in the light, where we
Yeah.
talk about the things that most men and women are struggling with, that is plaguing our culture. So we're going to do that by speaking about it, by talking about it. And if it doesn't work with your schedule, then make it work as a one-on-one thing. Make it work another way. And we want to help you do that. All right.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sam.